the smooth corner. And here we are going to teach you details about how you can find somebody's sexual powers, somebody's sexual energies, somebody's sex organ type and sex organ size right here on this show. Seto, I can see that you are smiling.
Yeah.
What do you think about this one?
Let me just ask you this. You know,
Okay.
talking about sex in this part of our world is like a taboo. What do you think we can do to improve something like this, for us to talk about it openly?
You know, it is a big problem in our part of the world, and we see sex as dirty, sex as something unclean. But meanwhile, God created sex to help us reprocreate. He created sex, and it's a good thing. Everything that God did about sex in marriage is a good thing.
Good.
So I simply don't see why people are so much about don't have any don't want to talk about it. It is something that we do. Most people who are, some that are not even married, even though we are not encouraging that, do it. And every married person does that. And we call that holy matrimony. So we should understand that these things we should know, we should learn, we should understand, and we should know them well. So when we are applying, we know exactly what you are doing. Yeah.
I once heard you say there's a way to determine a person's sexual potentials and sexual compatibility by look at the person. What are some of the things to look out for on the body?
Very, very real. One of the things we can look at is the hair of the person.
The hair.
The hair, just the hair on the person's head.
That's interesting.
Yes. You know, the hair of a person is linked to the person's kidney. So the more hair you have, the more kidney energy you have. And the more kidney energy you have, the more sex drive you have. So here I have some stuff that I want to show you on the PowerPoint presentation. Now, if you look at the hair, I am talking here about this person you're seeing. Yeah, the person is bald, but the person has a lot of hair on the body. If you look at the eyebrow of the person, the eyebrows, you can see there are different types. There's one that is very thin, there's one that is bushy, there's one that is almost thin, and then all these crescent eyebrow shapes indicates the person's sexual potentials. So if your eyebrows do not match the person that you intend being in a relationships with eyebrow, you need to look at it, because then you're going to have this problem with my husband likes too much sex or my wife likes too much sex. So your energies should match each other. And then also the fact that you are bald doesn't mean that you don't have enough sexual energy, right? The baldness is just it could be hygiene. It could be that you have a problem with
it could be hereditary.
It could be you're not dieting well. But what I want people to basically understand is that abundance of hair is a sign of strong sexuality and ample sexual energy. So you can see here on my slide a bald person, but he has a lot of hair on the chest and a lot of hair at the back. So such personalities have a very high sex drive. So if your skin is dry, you are a lady and your skin is dry, you don't get close to men who have such hair, because then they're going to disturb you with sex. Then you're going to complain, my husband likes too much sex or my wife likes too much sex. So this is what you should know. The fact that he is bald doesn't mean that his sexual drive is low, but it is simply because he has a lot of hair and his kidneys are strong. That is what we should look at. And then also hair on the face. Hair on the face also signifies that the person has a strong kidney. And once you have a strong kidney, it also means that your sex drive is high. So you can see people with very thick mustache, strong face. Such people also have very high sex drive. So if you don't have enough hair, you don't move with such people. Now this is a picture you should look at. Once the person has a lot of hair on the head and on the face, the person will also have a lot of pubic hair. And if the person doesn't have enough hair on the body and the face, the pubic hair is also really scanty. We are saying this is an adult class, and we are trying to, as much as possible, not to be very, what is the word? What's that word? All right, so now let's look at the hair on the chest, what it means. You have hair on the chest. Men have hair on the chest, and women also have hair on the chest. Yeah. And men and women who have plenty hair on the chest is also a sign of a high sex drive. And with some women, you even see hair on the legs. So you need to look at all those things. If the lady has some, you can see some little beard, one or two. Yeah. That is okay. But you see hair on the chest, like the picture I'm showing you on the slide. You can see the breast. There's a lot of hair. Even the second one has even more. It simply means that that person has a high sex drive. And when you look at that man lying there with all the hair on the body and the legs and the chest and everywhere, it simply means that that man is dope. He's seriously into sexual energy. But the other thing we can also look at, if we are trying to get the person's sexuality, is the neck. The neck of a woman. The neck of a woman links directly to her thyroid glands. So while you stimulate the neck of a woman, it is healing. You are stimulating her thyroid glands as well. So once you stimulate the thyroid glands, the neck would expand and become long. So that is why you see this when you touch the neck of a woman and then she's stimulated, you see the neck expand and become longer, right? So the neck is also indicative of sexual powers. But when it comes to men, we need to look at this very unique part, this very unique picture I have here. You can see two men. One has a nearly thin neck, and the other has a very heavy neck. The one on the right, the neck is thick. Yeah. The thick neck signifies that this person has a high sex drive and possibly has a thick penis shaft. The shaft around the man's manhood is thick. And you can see it directly from the neck. From the neck, you can tell that. So you need to look at it before you start making your decisions as to whether you would want to be with a person or you would not want to be the person. These are some of the signs that we look at. Now, let's move on to the eye. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The eye. Actually, the eye is a sexual symbol. Now, the ear, sorry. We're looking at the ear. The ear. Now, looking at the ear, you can tell the size, position, and the sex drive of a man. And that is what I want you to understand now. If you look at Will Smith, I have Will Smith's picture here. If you look at the ear, especially the picture on the extreme right, you can see the ear is lighter in color than the face. So anytime you see a man or a woman whose ear is lighter than the face, the person has a strong kidney and therefore has a strong sex drive. Okay? And then also, if you look at that same picture, you see Will Smith and you check his eyebrow will come there. Now, the first picture on the left, you also see an ear that is protruding off the ear. It also indicates that that person has a high sex drive. And if you look inside the ear, the part we call the corner, the inside of the ear, when that part is also deep, it has a meaning, both for men and women. And then we are going to learn that today. Now, in the next picture I have, you're seeing exactly what I talked about. The picture in the middle, the ear is protruding. It's a little off the body. And it also means that person has a high sex drive. Now look into the middle picture, the ear. You can see the corner. It's deep. So it has a meaning. And when we get to that section, I will tell you. So such people, it's indicative of a strong sexual potential. The person has a strong kidney. And once you have a strong kidney, it supplies you with a strong sexual energy. Beautiful. So now let's look at people too with small ears. So when you have a small ear, it means you have a kidney that is not so strong. And it also means that your sex drive is going to be low. So you see, I have a picture in the middle with extremely small ear. And when you look at the person's lips, the person's nose, the person's eye, and the person's eyebrow, they are corresponding. All of them are small. So you can tell that that person has a small sex drive. And as we go on, you are going to understand the things that come along with determining the person's sex organ type and the person's sex sex size, and all that. You can know that from what we are looking at. Now, this is a summary of the ear. You can see that we are saying if you have a small ear, it simply means you have a deficient kidney, right? It doesn't mean that your kidney is not functioning well. It means you don't have too much power to become overly sexual. And then if your ear is flat, it means that if it is fleshy, if it is thick, it has its meaning, and you can read it from there. You are, good health and good sexually strong. And if it is large, if the ear loop is flat and large, it also has its meaning. So you can see this face I have here. Okay, so you can see it from here.